Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Maheshkariya. You're watching me on YouTube now, and in this session I'm gonna take you through Astro. So without wasting any time, let's deep dive into it. So if you haven't heard about Astro, so Astro is something that allows you to have multiple frameworks inside a single bundle. So like VueJs, Servlet, React, and number of other things. Along with SSR, Node.js, Dino, Netlify, and Netlify. Apart from that, Tailwind CSS, of course. So Tailwind CSS, that if you guys are again not familiar about it, it's a bunch of classes. That is, we can say, the micro framework of CSS that we are going to use in this today's tutorial. And apart from that, we are going to explore the real life example, honestly, not only just hello world things. We are going to use multiple counters. We are going to pass the states between the multiple counters in multiple like one of Vue.js, one of React, another things. Okay, so this is how we'll understand how it works behind the scene and why this is getting really very popular. This is one of the reason that we are going to explore, and it's already 1.0. It's there, and we can see the 20k stars already we got for Astro. And why we are using this and why it is popular, for another reason, is this fastest loading time. Okay, and let's go without wasting any time. Okay, so I already have this VS Code open over here, and I'm gonna open my terminal. I'm gonna use yarn. If you don't have yarn already, so you can install it by like this, install -g yarn. Okay, yarn is again faster built by Facebook, so I'm gonna use yarn. So yarn add, or sorry, yarn create, I forgot the command honestly, Astro. So Astro, this command will install all the boilerplate things. Okay, it's gonna ask for the project name that I'm gonna use is app, or again Astro. Okay, and now we need to choose the multiple examples of our you can choose any, by the way. So it's gonna grab from GitHub their official examples repository, and after that we need to install the dependencies there. So for that I'm gonna choose Y, and once it installs everything, then we just need to add the adapters. So if you are not familiar about that, you just need to click here on get started, and after that inside here somewhere in integrations, let me scroll down a little bit. Yeah, here. So inside integrations, by the way, if you don't like to watch this video, completely fine, go with the official docs. You will get everything. The docs is like I really like to follow docs instead of tutorials. So here you can see like there are multiple UI frameworks and multiple SSR adapters. Okay, so SSR, if you are again not familiar about it, SSR is a server-side rendering. So for really very heavy e-commerce like websites where you don't want to wrap everything inside a single SPA, which is single page applications, I really don't like it so much. Until and unless we have a small user requirement for normal PWA. By the way, PWA it's not supported nowadays. So supported, like it's nobody using that much. Okay, so we are gonna choose, yeah, would you like to initialize a new Git repository? No, I'm not interested. And I'm gonna select, you can select according to your choice. If you are working on a big massive project, you really need to go with this strictest version. Strict recommended, and relaxed I don't feel secured that much, so I'll prefer to use relaxed. Okay, now everything is done. I'm gonna open this Astro, and here you can see like in SRC we have components card.astro and the normal. By the way, just don't get afraid of another out of the box framework. This is not framework. We are not going to learn Astro. We are gonna use our own frameworks using Astro. So please be very specific. Okay, so now I really don't need that many of things. I'm gonna remove all the unwanted things. By the way, here, like you can see here, we are gonna write JavaScript code, Here we are gonna write the HTML code, and inside CSS, of course, you can write your magical CSS. Okay, by the way, we are using Tailwind CSS, so I forgot to install adapters. So yarn add Astro add, we're gonna install React. You can use Preact as well, which is why if you are not familiar about Preact is the minimal library of React, of 3 KB, I guess. So you can use it if you want. So Vue, apart from that, Svelte, apart from that, Tailwind CSS. So again, Tailwind CSS, which is a bunch of, as I told you guys, it's a micro framework or something like that for CSS. And here we go. So whenever you will try to install this plugins, the main file where all the configuration is happening is this astro.config.mjs. Again, if you are not familiar about .mjs extension, for modular JavaScript we use mjs, and inside that you can directly use this import statements instead of js. For the Node.js developers, you can directly use mjs file format. So in this file it's asking me for yarn add that many of packages is required for to use these things. So I'm gonna say yes, definitely install as you whatever you want. So for the servlet we need the version 3. React, we are version 18 we are using. Vue by default installs the React 3 nowadays, and Astro JS is AstroJS. Tailwind is Tailwind. Okay, Tailwind 3 that we are using. So yeah, everything is fine, looking good. And now we are just waiting for the one change that's going to be part of this very extension. Okay, we can configure it manually as well, but the CLI is really very good. So it will ask you for Astro generate the minimal Tailwind. Okay, the config.cjs file will generate. Okay, let me install. So you can see the Tailwind CJS here we got. So it's a minimal thing, and after that we just need to modify this config.mjs. I'll choose yes, and once you choose yes, you can clearly see here in your mjs that integrations, like the way you can add integrations, and like the way you can import the things. So this is it. We are completely ready to get started with the very basic things. So inside component, I'll start with very basic counter. So in counter we'll get all the things at once: functions, methods, calling things. Okay, so I'll say this from Vue, so Vue. Okay, and if you are not familiar about Vue, it is really very super easy. No worries. In template you will write your HTML code, and in script you will write your script. Okay, so script would be like this. Hopefully this time my copilot is working really very nice. So this is increment counter. I don't want this that much of code, so I'll remove it quickly. Instead of this, I'll say sorry, double curly braces we need to use, and here we are going to use count, and this is it. No need to use div as well. So let me remove this div, control B, and here we go. This is the simplest example that we can think of for now. And here I'm gonna in card.astro, which is going to be part of index.astro. So I'll prefer to use card this time, and I'm gonna remove this much of code, which is, I really don't like this cursor. Instead of that, I can prefer to use this. Okay, and let me use again main. Okay, and here I don't need that much of style, so I'm gonna remove it. So simple. Okay, now here I'm gonna use this card. So now you can clearly see it is inside component. You can repository pattern you can choose according to your choice, completely fine. Okay, so it's all your choice, but when we are working on big projects, definitely the state management will happen, so you need to be very specific while choosing your this Iceland. I prefer to say that. So yeah, here we go, and I'll say yarn div. Okay, here we go. So it was very quick, I guess. So I got warnings for the first time. So no utility classes were detected in your source files. Okay, because I'm not using it. Okay, that's why I'm getting this notification, but by the way, it's completely fine. So I'm gonna open this in here, localhost colon 3000, and I got nothing. Nothing means nothing, because in Astro I need to import that component that I have just made. So I'll say java.io. No, I don't need Java. I need this, my Astro counter view from / counter view. This is it, and here somewhere I'm gonna use let me use main, and here, yeah, counter view. I got it. Now one more thing, this is going to be static unless until and unless you will say that client visible or client load. Okay, then only it will make changes. Okay, so let me see. Yeah, this is fine, this is working fine. So I'll use class here to be very, like, for button we need, right? So oh my god, so what I'll say, background. Oh wow, it's working fine. Let me see how it looks like. So yeah, and these are the classes that I'm gonna use from Tailwind CSS. Okay, so text is white, font is bold, padding y-axis, padding x-axis, rounded, and blah blah blah. So I'm gonna use here clicks. So from VueJs. Okay, so we need to be very specific. So yeah, it's working completely fine. Now again, you can see VueJs we started to working on already. Now we are gonna use JSX for counter in react dot JSX. Okay, now here, sorry. Okay, and here I'm gonna use export default, and here I'm gonna use class. No, I don't need class. Counter function, let's say export const will start with counter react. Okay, great, and here we'll get the code already. Okay, export this thing, Alt Shift F or Option Shift F if you are on Mac. So counter, I also don't need this thing here. So this is the simplest example of React where I'm gonna use, yeah, single curly braces we use over here. So inside here I'm gonna use count. Okay, and I'll say the same message we are gonna use is clicks from React, like the way. Let me use this city React. Okay, and now I need to import this use state. I guess I forgot to import this thing. So import use state, which will be like this from React. Okay, now it looks good to me. Now I'm gonna import that one here. So inside card component, oh, I'm not able to click this, it's not working. So here I need to import that React one. So import again counter React from React View, and here also I'm gonna say this should be visible. Okay, here I can use BR as well if I want. I guess it should work. So view is, it's JSX I have used, so this is JSX. Okay, I forgot to do that. And class, of course we can use classes again over there. So I'm gonna use the same classes, you can choose, but the color should be different, I guess. So let me start with that. And here we don't use the class, instead of we use class name. So it should be like this, and bg background 500. Instead of that, we'll say 400. It should be 900, something like that. So color should be different. Okay, so see, we have used both of them, so side by side. So React and VueJS in the same page. Wow. Okay, so but honestly, thank you so much, guys. Whoever made this thing, Astro. I'm not sure who, the behind Astro developers. They are like done really very great job. Thank you so much for such a wonderful framework. Thank you. So let's get started with the servlet. Okay, so I'm gonna use actually this part is easy. The state management is little bit more easy. Okay, so we are gonna do that as well. So counter servlet dot servlet. Okay, looks good. Servlet for VS Code extension, enable plugin. Ask again, disable now. Okay, I don't know what's that saying. And inside script, we are gonna write scripts. Okay, and this is my counter example, so I don't need that much of code. I'll simply say let count equal to 0. Great. Then increment is this, and nothing else is required. And here as well, I'll say button. Okay, and this is my increment and times, and button should be singular. Okay, so let me do, why I'm getting that much of increment will call. I don't need this thing. Instead of that, I'm gonna choose to use the same things. Yeah, here. Okay, instead of class name, I'll again choose class. Okay, I really like this minimal approach of servlet. And here I'm gonna use the same message like this, clicks for servlet. In single curly braces, I'll say count. I'll shift F. I missed something, I'm not sure though. Okay, so looks good to me. It should be incremented. Here I just need to choose button. Let's say now I'm gonna go to the card component. Here I'm gonna import counter what, servlet from servlet. And here again I'm gonna use PR. Is not working though. I used, no, sorry, like this, it should work. And again here I'm gonna use servlet. Hopefully it should work. Yeah, great. Servlet is there already. I'm not sure why BR is not working here and working there. Not sure though, guys. Let me remove this one by one. Okay, so everything is fine. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the same counter for all of them, so we can manage state between multiple components. Yes, so I told you it is super easy, but let's see how it goes. So here inside sharing state, you can see there is a plugin called as Nanostores. Okay, that Nanostores that we are gonna install. So for that I need to choose where I can choose yarn. Is there somewhere I can choose yarn instead of npm? No worries, I'll choose yarn here. Okay, so yarn, add this one. Then for servlet we no need to install anything. It is a beauty of servlet. And Vue, for Vue we need to add this extra plugin. Okay, and for React as well we need to add React over here, as you can clearly see over here. Okay, so it's really very good plugin, I guess, and very minimal approach that we can see here. So I'm gonna add these plugins, and here you can see the examples as well. So store is given like this inside store. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a store folder over there inside src. We are gonna create a store. Okay, and inside store I'm gonna create a counter dot js. This is completely pure js. So I'll say here I'll say counter is atom 0, then I'll say increment decrement I want to create. So export const increment, and here I'm gonna add increment. This is the very set and get we prefer to use here. And apart from that, what we can do, like this is the best approach that I have found. Let's try to use this over there. And how to use it, all the things are given over here as well. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna grab this thing for React. So I'm gonna go to can we start with Svelte, because it's easier one though. So Svelte is the easier one, so I prefer to use, because we just need to import like this here, which is counter. Okay, and which will be coming from, of course, dot stores counter, and this counter you just need to add dollar in front of that. Okay, that's it. And here I'll say from store or state counter. It's good, I guess. State counter is good. So like the way, and here as well, instead of this, let me use function over here. I'm not sure function I can use, I guess, over here, increment. And another one is counter dot set. I don't want to use. Instead of that, what was that, the increment counter. So that's the thing that we are going to use over here inside here. So it's look good. And here I'm gonna like add this increment counter. So hopefully it should work, not sure though. I need to run this thing as well, yarn dev, and oh, we got the error because the store it's not stores, it's store. Typo, the suggestion was not correct. So you can clearly see state is updating perfectly fine. And I told you guys, it's really very easy. You just, all you need is just to add a dollar symbol instead of this store. But for the React, it's same little bit here and there. So let's go to the Vue, and yeah, here you need to import these two things in VueJs. Hopefully it should work for the Vue as well. Here, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna, oh, where is that Svelte? It will remain the same, the function that we have declared over there. Okay, like this. And we are not using Vue, we are using React over here for this U store. I'll shift F, and after that control J. Oh my god, what's happening? It's not happening. I need to close this thing. Okay, so now what I'll do with this U store, let's go there and let's grab this here in setup. Okay, like this. So here I'm doing this U store, I'm getting this counter to count, but I already have count, so I need to rename it count to something else, count 1, count 2, like that. So instead of that, I'll choose to have counter in Vue I don't want to confuse. Counter in Vue. Okay, looks good. And why we are using increment here? Because increment is already there. Actually, I don't need this thing. First thing, I even don't need this thing because we are directly importing over here. So increment counter, that we just need to add increment counter. Where is that we are using here? So can we have multiple things over here like this? Like this, can we have? I'm not sure. Hopefully not. Okay, we got the error. So if we are using that, we can't use count then. Okay, then we can have count, and that count will get from here. Okay, control shifts. Here we'll be using count, and then count should be equal to 0. Okay, then one thing, this is my VueJs, and okay, methods, here I need comma. Okay, now this is working fine. Now I just need to use this thing over here as well. So here I'll say state counter will be equals to this. Okay, so hopefully it should work. Okay, so 3 2. Okay, so it's 5 7 8 9. Okay, this one is getting updated, so this is fine. And now if I click this is not getting updated, the increment one is not getting updated. So here I need to use increment as well. So in order to update that component, or if I'm getting error, I'll get here. I'm not getting error, it's good. So this increment should be okay. That increment is not happening. Because we are, one more thing we can do is, let's get back my data quickly, and here instead of, yeah, this we are using here as well. So I don't need to return this over here, and I'll directly use increment over here. So not increment counter, the increment one. So increment is my method. No, sorry, increment counter I should call here, which is coming from here exactly. Okay, what else I'm missing? If not, counter in Vue, increment counter. Okay, everything is fine. It should come here. So you got it right. Like we have a data where we have count is equal to 0 and counter in Vue is this one. So the initial will be always 0, and then we are manipulating the things, and here now we can clearly see everything is happening properly. Now from React side only remaining. So here again we'll go there, and we are gonna grab the code for the React. Okay, so like this from here to here. Okay, and this, instead of that, we are gonna use the store that we have, dot slash store slash counter. Okay, and here I'm gonna add increment. So this code should be similar. No need to think that much. Okay, looks good. Instead of this, I'm gonna use React. Okay, and this use store will be part of this thing. here. So use store, no need to do that much of things. We can use the similar code as well over here, like this. So it will remain the same again here as well. And here as well, we are gonna, instead of this one, we can have a function which should be like this. So we are gonna perform both the operations, this one as well. So I'll shift F once again, and when we go there, and here as well, we need to add state counter will be equals to in value. Okay, hopefully this is working fine for me. So this is done. So we have made a very simplest example but using most of the things. Okay, now the I used to say the Iceland of this card. Okay, so this is a complete Iceland, and that card is we are integrating to here. Now you can manipulate with the multiple things if you want, like this. Okay, so it's all your choice. So how you distribute the code and how you create a microservices and number of microservices, how you play around with it, it's all your choice though. So this is it for this tutorial. And thank you so much all of you guys for being with me, supporting me all the time. It's been a pleasure to be here. Please let me know inside comment box what you want from my side. Definitely I'll make it for you. And don't forget to subscribe my channel if you haven't already, and smash that like button. And you can use this thanks button as well in order to contribute. Like even $1 is enough to grow our channel. So thank you so much. Have a good day. Bye bye.